So there's the close to the final proportions of the bird. They are large birds, and this I'm carving to be a fat, happy, healthy Kereru in repose after a feed maybe, or sleeping it off the next day. I've carved the head so it's turned to the side, refined the beak, and marked where I'm going to put the eye. The beak's a different colour because I've varnished it with some liquid super glue. I get some super glue with a brush, paint it on, and that creates a little coating. It doesn't soak very far into wood, but it coats it like a M&M candy coating. I liken it to, and that'll save it from a few casual knocks while I'm carving away at the bird. So I'm on to outlining the basic feather groups, the large ones, the nape, scapulars, down its back, the breast, and around its feet. I call them shorts. I'm sure there's an ornithological term for it, but that's what I call them. They look like shorts, and his feet sticking out the end of them. Under the tail. I've had a couple of rotten bits I've exposed, and I've inserted wood into them. That was the one from earlier. There was another one up here which is just about carved away, but I just filled it before carving it, just in case I needed that bit of wood. I'll get on to those feather groups. Right, a quick word about feathers. Now that the primary groups have been defined and then blended it by sanding, you can see that that pays off a little with when the light moves. You can see that looks like sort of muscles in the wood, those groups, and as the light changes during the day, that's going to pay off in the final carving, that attention to detail. Now, further attention to detail is every feather in those groups. These top ones are quite soft looking. They're cupped and they have a sort of a pillowy look as they overlap each other, sort of pillows, tiers of pillows. The best way I can think to describe that. So there's a close-up of the nape I first started. I've actually sanded a bit to soften it to show you the difference from starting laying out the feathers, carving out the feather shape and then blending them in. So with the carving tools I've defined the feather, and over here I've carved it so it looks like this feather here is underlapping this feather, or that feather's overlapping that one, and so on, and then sanded it back to get the soft look, so with various grades of sandpaper, quite very coarse, and then these pads which are very forgiving. I really like these pads. They're sanding pads. They're very useful.